woman, black hips, black kiss, black lips, afro with a black pink. Love when you talk that blackish. Black man, black fist, black hand, black grip, black comment, on the black list. Still gonna talk.
Vocal Dialect Podcast. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Vocal Dialect Podcast. Like, comment, subscribe.
Black schools, black scholars, black doctors, black designers, black garments, black stage, black performance, black panel, black audience, black mothers, black fathers, black sons, black daughters, black love, black honor. You black today, you're gonna be black tomorrow. Black woman, black hips.
Greetings, peace, family. Vocal Dialect, Season 1, Episode 3. Queen got his hope. Can water or kill Bossy Kente? Topic today, do rappers deserve death? We're going to play the first clip.
I wish death on Future. And here's what, sure. And here's why I wish death on Future, right?
That seems kind of harsh though, right?
No, death. And here's why it's Future. There was a beautiful black boy, man, in Southside Chicago, right? He had a single mama, but he wasn't part of no gangs, bro, you know, and he was in band, art, right, you know, and he did and all the right things, right? But again, a single mama, she goes to work. She leaves this kid to like, you know, his own vices. Yep. Around the age of 16, this kid who was in band, who was a musical genius, discovered Future. And while his mama is at work and he's listening to Dirty Stoner in that styrofoam, spending days getting mind blown. And he says, oh shit, bro, listening to Future made me want to do pills and drugs. So then he started taking drugs and pills. Now, he's such a musical genius that this kid went on to be the most impactful rapper of his generation. But that kid died on a plane taking pills. Juice WRLD. That kid name is Juice WRLD, and he says, I was in band, I was living a good life, and I started taking pills because of Future. So hence, Future's music led him down a path that killed him. Now too, and here's why it's even more fucking sinister and evil of Future. Nicki Minaj said, yo, I was in the studio with this nigga Future. And he told me, man, bruh, I don't be doing drugs for real, Nicki. Like, I'm just rapping about it. For me, right, you know, again, because it's cool. So this nigga said, I don't do drugs, Nicki. I'm just rapping about it, Nicki. So this nigga led up, again, trust me, Juice WRLD ain't the only kid, bruh. This nigga took one of the brightest stars in a black music from us by rapping about a lie that he not doing to fill up his own pockets? How's that fair? How does he deserve to live after taking away from us one of the brightest young stars of our generation by a lie?
Family, what's y'all take on that?
Started off with Bossy.
That was the homie Poetic Flacco too. That was the homie Poetic Flacco. And you know, something that stuck out to me was, number one, he said he came from a single mother. And this is for the goofies that war on single mothers and say single mothers can't raise their sons, blah, 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 blah. She's at work. You know, he comes from what Charleston White said, he comes from a well-to-do neighborhood. So he came from a good environment. This wasn't no, you know, messed up young man. But it goes with what I talked about all the time. The influence of celebrities. The influence, and you know, it's kind of like the throw rock and hide your hands. And we say, well, it's the parents, you know. Well, the parents shouldn't. If he's old enough, and then we have to factor in just that point right there. How can you blame the parents when the parents is at work? You know, I think about what I was doing when I wasn't supervised by my mom. You know. So you can't always, we're not in a society where the parents are always monitoring because they in the rat race themselves. But what's crazy is, like, the topic is, do rappers deserve death? I'm not going to say all of them. No, they don't. But ones that do are the ones like Future that knowingly push a deceptive message that they not even into themselves. Like Fat Joe said, he lied in 95% of his music. Those are the ones because they're pushing a narrative. They're pushing an agenda. Those are the ones that deserve to be put down. I'm not gonna blame the ones that's really about that life and got influence because they themselves are influenced by it too. But I found that interesting, and shout out to Poetic Flacco for his take. But yeah, that's my piece on that. That's wild.
It's crazy to me because that's a hard one. Death. I'm the type of person I'd be like, I don't wish death on nobody, but when I was listening to the audio video, he was like, Juice WRLD tried to drugs because Future influenced him, and now he dead. So how many other kids do you think that Future had an influence on? That's kind of heavy right there.
You know what? Something that Obasi said about Fat Joe, 95% of his lyrics, and I've heard the story of, this about Future and Nicki Minaj once upon a time as well. But just thinking about a lot of like where Fat Joe is from, he's from New York, like I'm from New York, he's from the Bronx, and thinking about how a lot of drill rappers are from the Bronx, and a lot of them live this gang lifestyle. So 9 times out of 10, they kind of play on your neighborhood and where you're from to kind of dictate that influence. So they know who is going to buy their music. They know who is going to listen to the music. They know what is happening in those environments. So that's the narrative that they're pushing. A lot of times these rappers are not even writing their own rhymes. They're getting a group of white men in a room who are actually writing them a lot of times. And this is what they're pushing out.
I actually seen the Fat Joe documentary about not even 2 months ago, and he did live a rough life as far as that documentary go. So he been in the street.
Absolutely. I'm not dating no nigga from the Bronx ever again.
Yeah, he been running wild in the street and wild with crazy crews and sold dope and all this stuff. So no, I don't know.
Something I want to point out is your background, bro. Talk about your background that you got back there. Like that's an interesting background.
Oh, you talking about these actual rappers? That I forgot his name. That boy locked up. That's the boy. I forgot their names. The boy, you remember the picture was out with the young boy holding a rocket launcher some years back, 7, 8, 9 years ago.
Yeah, that was in Chicago.
Yeah, I forgot that boy name. He was an upcoming rapper dude right here. He's still alive. He got his sins, and the other boy is covered up. But yeah, man, and this boy right here, remember they did a documentary on Chicago probably about 8, 9 years ago, probably 10 years ago now, on World Star Hip Hop, and all three of these boys was in. They don't know, only teenagers, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and this is promoting violence, but at the same time, don't get it wrong. These kids are living in the violence that they talk about, because what I had a conversation with, I think it was Rebel about a couple of weeks ago. NWA didn't make me go shoot nobody, and I listened to him. That was the world around me before rap music, NWA. So I don't blame NWA for nothing. They was just some young kids. They was kids at the time that was rapping about the things that was going on in their neighborhood. And personally, they was just rapping about their neighborhood and for the people in their neighborhood. They didn't think they was gonna blow up like that. So NWA didn't make me go shoot nobody. You know what I mean? It was shootings all around me coming up, violence all around me coming up anyway. So I think
100%.
people use them as a stepping stone. You know what I mean? For like what that boy Special Ed said a couple of months ago, he blamed NWA for the destruction of hip hop. I disagree with that. You know what I mean? You gotta blame the people that put that shit out.
The Jewish people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at the end, you know, I'm gonna agree with Special Ed. And here's
you say
why.
you agree with him?
Because who was the one that was behind? I agree.
Your
I agree
microphone
with him,
had
and this is why.
I ain't know why. Did you say you agree or disagree with him?
No, I said I agree with him, and here's why. Because okay, they had Jerry Heller, Small Hat, as their manager, right? Okay, Jew, Small Hat. Okay, what they were able to do, like you said, they didn't affect everybody. I remember growing up on Bone Thugs and Harmony, and they had a song More Murder. You know, that didn't make me want to go out and commit murder, but it did influence me in certain ways. But back to them, this is why I say my opinion, because of the image that it wasn't necessarily their lyrics altogether. It was the image. It was now we niggas with attitudes. And, it was, I don't want to say it was empowering, but it was kind of like awakening to the black community. And this is what I like to say. Okay, for all the small hats.
Hold on. How is that awakening to the black community when it was already in the black community? Why is it guns already in the black community? Crack was in the black community. Heroin was in the black community. All of that. Robbing motherfuckers was in the black community.
Fact.
So,
but they was kind of like,
I don't blame it on them.
In my opinion, they was kind of like the faces that pushed it.
But they wasn't the ones that pushed it. That's the whole point I'm saying. They didn't push the music. They were just some kids rapping about their neighborhood and the things they see. Them other people who pushed it out.
Were they doing the things that they were talking about?
I don't know. I can't answer that.
Exactly. Because it's like, okay, it's like the whole niggas with attitude thing, right? We really got into that. But do we think the Jews that was behind that room, that was behind that, would have ever called themselves kikes with attitudes? No. Shylocks with attitudes? Any kind of degraded name. But they was influenced by them to that, because like you say, they was rapping about the environment. But then we got to put the blame on who shapes the environment. So it's kind of like one hand washing the other. They shape the environment, then they tell us to rap about it. They put the crack in the community and get us to sing about the destruction. So that's why I say I ain't gonna say kinda. I do agree with him, dog.
I don't. Because let me tell you something. What's the difference between Public Enemy saying fight the power and NWA saying F the police? There ain't no difference to me. Because it mean the same thing.
Because one had a radical message and the other one had a nigga message behind it.
So F the police ain't no radical message.
In a sense, but it's like the energy behind it, if that makes sense what I'm saying.
I don't know, because
like Public Enemy. Go ahead, Quinn.
No, you can finish.
Go ahead. I'm good. I can hop in on. I ain't gonna lose a point. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I want to hear what you have to say.
No. That's just my thing, because okay, this is how I look at it. When they stopped the revolutionary energy, they replaced it with with the degenerate nigga energy. And that's what I think that they used NWA to start and spark. Now, like you say all the time, there were others but they was kind of like they was kind of like that because look, you had two live crew. You had two live crew that we could blame for the provocative images for a lot of what they did. So, like you saying, bro, they weren't the only ones, but I think they more so pushed that nigga message. You see, does that make sense? What I'm saying?
I guess I get what you're saying. I guess you're saying because no, like when I think of like conscious rap, right? It's almost as if you're saying like they chose one over the other, right? Is that what you're saying? They chose to push what did
Yeah.
you say? The nigga mentality over conscious rap, as
Right.
opposed to keeping us awakened like Queen Latifah. You know what I mean? She came out, ooh, ladies first, unity, such and such and such. But how long did that career last? Very short, because all of a sudden she's an actress. You know what I mean? So I understand what you're saying, but for me, actually living in New York City, living and breathing that and seeing crack hit the streets as hard as it did, not being able to play outside because there was vials of cocaine and crack everywhere, in the playground yards. Like we had concrete tubes, circles, all around, and there was just urine and hella vials in there. Like we couldn't even enjoy our childhood. So while it is, I definitely understand the message that you're trying to portray. I know that the narrative was pushed because they want you to thrive in that negativity. And it also makes me think about today when I was watching a lot of these drill rappers, commentary and, thinking about, I know a lot of drill rappers from the Bronx too. I'm in the hallways and they like, yo, you want to get on a video? No, I don't want to get in this fucking video. No, I don't want to be a target for nobody. You know what I mean? Because, and at the end of the day, when I think about the communities that they're shooting these music videos in, the common narrative was in the project. The common narrative is seeing these brick buildings that elude and exude nothing but poverty and destruction. It's a dark energy and a dark space and force that's surrounding our community. And it's almost as if there's nothing that we can do because they have like that fishbowl mentality. How can you escape the reality of what's happening around you? You can't. They don't feel like there's anything else. Drill
Right.
rappers, from what I've seen, are getting younger and younger every day. There's like some little kid rapper talking about red light, green light, 1, 2, 3. I'm like, bruh, sit your ass down somewhere and go read a Dr. Seuss book. Like, kidding me? You know what I mean? Like, are the parents then to blame now, or are they still at work?
Okay.
Well, it's like it's different today because these kids are straight gang banging on records. You know what I mean? That's the difference between now and then. They actually gang banging on records.
Mm-hmm. And they putting it out themselves. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and they
Didn't
put
have
it out
access to things like YouTube or Apple Music and Spotify,
right.
and you just got to create an account as an artist and just upload the content yourself. You're cutting out the whole record deal and a top hat, small hat. You're cutting out a lot of the legwork that our forefathers of rap had to go through just to kind of put out a track. They don't have to do that anymore.
Nope.
You don't have to find anybody to print your CDs or your tapes. Like all of that is cut out. So now it's able to get pushed out way longer further than we can imagine. And it's not even just us anymore. Now we got other countries on it too.
Yep.
They got the wave. That's the wave, and that is the violence that they put out. Hip hop, higher infinite power, healing our people. Fifth element of hip hop is knowledge. So they got us away from that, and to keep perpetuating madness and things of that nature. And they needed the music to do what it do. Music has a very powerful influence. We've been using music since the ancient times. Music has a lot to do with your state of mind, as well as what you're gonna do as far as the next day or even in life. And sometimes people look up to things for its influence, and the people or the powers that be see it as control. And sometimes they look up to people and they be like, I need that. And everything is surrounded with money, and you got to think about it by we being targets and we being poor and we been raised in the ghetto, bad communities, things of that nature. Then if you got some guy be like, yo, I can make you rich. I can give you a $2 million, $3 million budget. Yo, your mom's ain't got to worry about her rent no more. Yo, you ain't got to worry about no car. You can take care of your baby sister. These are some of the lines or the conversations the Jews were having with particular people because they were financing some of the parties in New York, different places like that. So it's bad across the board.
Yeah.
We have gotten away from the purpose. One, we did not need Jews to start giving us contracts, but people wanted money. And during that particular time, like Kanye said in the past, like how they run, it's three Jews that run the whole everything. And they had the money to get them on TV, to promote their video, to give them money to promote their party, who gonna have the next big party. So, it's bad around the board. And I really hate that for the young man that was that looked up to Future. And sometimes have to do with parenting too by he being a single parent, with his mom, he didn't have no good role models. And that goes with the elders in the community too. You see somebody young, something like yo, this is a road to destruction. We gotta like Queen say, we gotta the OGs, where they at? You know what I'm saying? Who really gonna tell the truth, and who's actually going to point the youth in a positive light. Because on this side we losing. You know what I'm saying? Our young youth are targeted because of the energy that they have. You know what I'm saying? And how they come out tenacious. And when they make their mind up, they do it. That's that young vigor. But we definitely have to take account for that, because we didn't need none of their money. People in those communities could have donated and really push your artists. You know what I'm saying, to a global icon. I've seen a lot of people. I've seen some. I don't say a lot. I've seen some artists do that, but the Jewish aspects of them controlling the music makes it rough, makes it hard. Because if you got somebody who got more money than you, how are you going to compete with that? That's why they always sign them bad contracts and never own their name. And that's how they keep perpetuating the madness. Now you got the prisons who getting involved with it. Now you got the Crips. That's the trust. That's the prison trust. What's going on with that? They got a prison board. When Tupac was in jail, the letter was floating around on the internet. They gave Tupac a letter telling him to promote violence. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know this. Too Short first album was a conscious album. They got him to do the opposite. So there's different levels to it. And I think one of you guys mentioned 2 Live Crew. So we had sex, we had money, we had drugs, we had violence. It is, that's
but the difference between today in the 80s or 90s or whatever, 80s and 90s, put it like that. Like I said, I could listen to Public Enemy one day, the next day I could listen to NWA. It was a balance. That's the difference. It's no balance. Who know Rhapsody just came out with a new album about 3 months ago. Who know that?
Y'all know dope, that? And she's dope.
She dope. Who know that?
She's dope. But Knowledge touched on something. Okay, because the acronym he gave for hip hop, high infinite power, healing our people. And when we think about it, it went from hip hop to gangster rap. You see, and with that image came that stuff. So okay, it's just like this. I look at like Queen mentioned, Queen Latifah. So remember the female, the ladies we had. We had Moni Love, we had Queen Latifah, we had MC Light, we had Yo Yo. They weren't provocative. You couldn't even see their bodies. The starter kits. This is what I always talk about. The starter kits became the Lil' Kims, the Foxy Browns, and then years later, who do we have? Then it was Trina. Then now 2024, who we got? Sexy Reds. So like what Ken's saying, the difference between then and now, we had a balance. We still had a balance of good albums. Now it's just everything is just drill rap. And I was thinking about something when we was talking about that topic, drill rap, and it made me think about a drill sergeant. And like, what does a drill sergeant really do in the army? It's like it kind of like preps the troops. Is that fair to say? They kind of like prep the troop in a sense. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just think about what the drill rap do. Because now it's like, okay, with ours, you know, it was just kind of like gangster this. It what killing happened, but it wasn't a requirement. Now, like,
you're breaking up a little bit.
Your mic breaking up. Your mic breaking up.
You know, so now it's like,
can you repeat that?
Dang.
We couldn't hear you. What you say? Just repeat the last part.
I said, like the picture bro, Watto got behind him. The difference between now and then is like now with the drill rap, you got to have a body. Most of them are catching bodies. You know, we brought up you sent an interesting article earlier, Queen, and it talked about all of them, and it talked about everybody from Lil Durk, the Chief Keef, the King Von, all of them. Now I don't know the actual number, but some say King Von was juiced up. You know, the bodies he took, but we do know he had bodies. You know, and it's like to listen to his lyrics. He was very brother could rap, but like to knowledge point, the higher infinite power of healing our people has become a lost art. Because like bro said, Rhapsody is a dope artist, but why we don't know? Why is she not being pushed?
We know why. And because right now we're in an awakening, and they don't want anyone else to awaken.
Nobody.
I believe, you know, like I said, I believe, man, you know, hip hop used to be like you could learn off of hip hop, you know. Man, when I listen to fact, now Chris Parker album BDP, first album was a gangster album. You know what I mean? But after that, you know, man, I used to I was awakened by those brothers, them Public Enemy, you had the Jungle Brothers. It was just so much. You could learn. You know, you could learn different things. And then that have you doing research. You know, it was empowering. You know what I mean? They was talking about black colleges and all this type of stuff. You know what I mean? They couldn't have that. You know what I mean?
I think the last good era of music for me was a 9-year. So I was just looking up some stuff because there was like Common's Black America Again and B.O.B.'s Elements. Those were two very high quality.
That's that Element album. That Element album is one of my favorite albums. That's one of my favorite albums.
I just had to look up the year. You got really excited. I appreciate that. So I'm looking at the years of when Black America Again by Common dropped and B.O.B.'s Elements, and it was both 2016. So when you add up all of those numbers together, it's a 9-year. And if you think about what I said on the live on IG this week, past week, I said next year, a 9-year, you know, that's really when we're going to see these high vibrations come back again. So I'm not going to say it's dead right now. And, you know, hopefully this will turn around. Because, you know, this is obviously a year of karma, and then next year, you know, we might see some good music come back out. And hopefully that's what it is. But we haven't seen good music in a while. And
a long time.
Like a really long time. And it's discouraging. You know, somebody said something one of my followers, I was talking to him. He was like the only Caucasian dude in high school that could, sit at our table. There's always one. And, him and I were talking in the chat, and he was like, this is why I rock with you, because, you're awakened to what's really happening in today's society. I worry about our children. I said, listen, sir, I have two little sisters that are in elementary school. I just had a niece. I have two nephews that just graduated high school last month. I said, and I do everything that I do for them. But last year in 2022, my nephew was shot walking home from school in North Carolina. I had to fly from Nevada, just to make sure everybody was good. But the fact is that those are the people that we have to worry about, because the violence is in our communities. It is in our schools. These kids go to school with this narrative all day, 24/7, teaching gang culture. In all of these drill videos, what do you see? Gang signs, throwing up gang signs, 12, 13, 14 years old, and while we could say, sure, this is a consistent conversation in any conversation that comes up about our community, we already know that they're targeting us. But if you're literally killing off kids, because all of these, like we said, they're basically challenging other rival gangs to come and pull up. You know what I mean? Like, y'all, we want that smoke. If you say you gonna do this, come show me. You know what I mean? They're basically asking for their lives to be done, whether it's going to end in incarceration or death.
You know what's so sad about that? This is really their culture.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you this. We should have listened when Lois Tucker was trying to tell her what was going on, how it was going to spread. We did listen. I know I did. She told us.
It's just sad, because it's like, if our young Black men are being affected by this at, let's say, as early as age 10, because in Staten Island, we had a couple of young kids that were murdered last year, back to back to back in the same friend circle, somewhere they were still by violent, whether if it was by stabbing or gunshot wounds, they were still kids. They were 3 kids under 17 years old. 2 of them were not even 13. So it's like, if this is the age that people are being affected now, we're not going to see Black men grow old. That was the whole, genesis surrounded by Trayvon Martin. Like, will Black men deserve to grow old?
Yeah. Hey, shit, man. Hey, now let's go to our next little clip, man. Poetic Flacco again.
FCC said, yo, you can't play the same artist song more than 4 times in a 3-hour block, because this shit is hypnotic. You telling me that you put an unguided kid in a single parent household who, bro, she got to work 16 hours a day because his raggedy daddy ain't step up to fucking feed her kids, and you put vultures like fucking Future and Lil Durk in them kids' lives and lead those kids to death or jail, and you're telling me that I'm harsh for saying I was nothing but death in jail on Future and Lil Durk?
Hey, Poetic Flacco just raw and uncut.
I love it. I'm here for it.
You are uncut, man.
I respect people like that. I don't care.
Yeah, I get his point. I most definitely get his point, because they getting they getting well paid by talking death on wax. Believe that.
But you know something? Because he mentioned Lil Durk. And Lil Durk, they call him The Voice. That's his nickname. So
that's his nickname? That's Lil Durk's nickname, The Voice?
He called The Voice. They call him The Voice. So it's basically like in my interpretation, he the voice of the youth. So like he said, we gotta look at the setup of the environment, right? The mom at work, dad done been broken out of the home. Dad is broken. Dad is not there. And if he's there, he's not. How much good of an example is he? Can he really rear boys to think and prepare them for manhood? Or is he a generational person that been in prison himself? Is he a generational gang member? So when you're looking at it, like we say, if you blaming the parents, they at work. They at work making a living because if they stay and watch their children, they homeless. They can't afford it. So an unguarded child listening to this, he want to be that. Because in order for the Westerners to rule over us, we have to accept those images because with the music come images. Okay, so just like we talking about like in the hip hop, look at the images of Public Enemy. Look at the strong black. Look at. I used to like Arrested Development. I don't know if y'all remember. I know y'all remember Arrested Development. I used to. I love Arrested Development.
Hey, I used to love the Goody Mob. Oh my god.
Because we got. Hey man, you know I'm ATL. Don't you get me started with that. You know, so we had. In my opinion, he was both of those. But he had those songs that "Holler If You Hear Me." Yeah, it was one of his that he had. Now I'm made because I remind y'all the things you were made to forget. In that line right there, I said, boy, I came across the autobiography of Malcolm X. That was the first black man I ever heard that I really spoke.
We can't hear you, brother.
He had influence over me.
Boss, your microphone, bro, you probably have to get back off of it. Probably lean back up off of it.
God.
Probably lean up off of it. Lean up off of it.
I ain't even got it hooked up now, dog. Look, I don't even have it hooked up, bro.
That's crazy. So it's your Wi-Fi or something?
Is that better?
Yeah, it's better. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Repeat what you was talking about.
But yeah, I'm just saying we gotta look at like who influencing. Because like it's like Knowledge said, we don't have the OGs in the neighborhood. Like we don't have the OGs that's the good examples no more. They don't have nothing but that. They want that money.
What happened, Knowledge? Huh? This space is cracking me up.
That's Obasi. He got bad internet connection.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
I guess it is what it is at that point.
I think your signal rubbed off on me, bro. I think your signal rubbed off on
my signal is pretty fine, you know, besides a few technical difficulties, but that's not my fault. You on the other side you on the other side of Georgia, so that's what happens.
In the woods.
Yeah, when you in the woods of high trees, and you know, like you know, your famous quote is "I'm around," so you know, you're around. You know what I'm saying? You're around. But you know, I do like the topic. Do drill rappers deserve death? I'm going to disagree and say no. They have been given the same thing as some of the old rappers who was given the contract, and they were given the money, and by them being in a poverty-stricken area, having a poverty-stricken mindset, dysfunctional, not culture, you know, and us as a people being robbed. I think it's just a collective effect that happens when we are being controlled, when our music is being controlled, and we go from being the voice of the voiceless to being chaotic, which is something that the government wants. The government wants you to be chaotic. They want you to perpetuate the madness to have that particular state. Like I was saying in my last, when I was saying before, like they got the prisons. They have to fill the prisons. So it would be wise for us to stop, but we can't because the prison and the music industry has a bonded contract to make sure that they get filled. And when you go to these penitentiary websites, as far as investing, they say you're investing in beds. Someone has to sleep in those beds. So therefore they need bodies.
Hey.
So what do we have to do? We have to keep doing what we're doing as a people, and try to try to keep our kids safe. You know, I don't believe drill rappers ought to have death. I believe they took opportunity and they grabbed it because of the conditions of the mind in the area. But When you knowingly doing things wrong, as the guy says, Future knowingly does it. Yeah, you need to be, probably put on a boat, push to the edge of the plank, and let the sharks get them.
But see,
So my question,
like I said before, it goes above, what's his name, Future. It's above him because he's not the one that's pushing the music.
yeah,
We gotta go to the people that's pushing the music, man.
But he signs the contract for it to get released.
Of course, he needs some money.
See, yeah, I agree with that.
He needs some money.
I agree
but should he be held accountable?
He should, but who gonna have?
Let's say for Juice WRLD's death, right? Would you intently say that it was Future who should be charged for that? Since he was the leader of the influence?
I don't know. I don't know the whole story. This is another man's opinion, but I will say this. If he agrees that he's the cause of Juice WRLD, then of course he should be dealt with. That's just, you know what I'm saying? That's just for real. But at the same time, you look at the conditions. Look where we come from. A lot of us don't make it out. You know what I'm saying? And some of these people in these record companies say that. They'll be like, well, look, man, you ain't gonna make it out. You know what I'm saying? Unless you get some money. If you do get some money, maybe you'll live a little longer to make it out. You know, it's so many angles that you can hit us with as far as the destruction of us. And considering without us, there is nothing. That's the whole thing about healing our people. You know what I'm saying? And the fifth element is knowledge. Once we lose that aspect, then we messed up as a people. Because now we go from teaching where we come from and the excellence of it to down to like nothing.
Nothing.
You know.
Shit hot. Shit hot.
Yeah. And see, and we have to place the blame where it's at. Because it's like the order is coming from higher up, but is Lil Nas X responsible for what he putting out? The influence he's doing? So it's like we have to place the blame where it is. Like Future know enough not to do those drugs himself. Because like I said earlier, he knows to go along with this agenda because the agenda is death. So if he pushing out death, why he don't deserve death? He deserves death. He deserves death. The one, like I said, the ones that's giving out those blood contracts, the ones that's knowingly going along with the destruction, no, they deserve it. Because I'm like this, and I say this to you all the time, Watto, that ain't my energy. I wish death on my enemies. Like I wish nothing but death because they're my enemies.
So you ain't God.
So it's like, yeah, we huh?
You can't say that, Obasi.
Why not? Why not? Why not? I don't wish love and peace on them.
I mean, you know, they say you're supposed to bless your enemies, right? Too. Keep them closer.
Come on, man. What my book at? Hold on, what my book at?
I'm kidding. Wait. Can I just say one thing though? I want to say this.
What did Queen just say?
I'm just starting trouble. I don't know. But
man, what my book at, man?
I just want to say something, you know, that you all said about, you know, like public housing. Nah, in all reality, for me to be all like kumbaya and love and light, I don't wish bad on my enemies. I just wish them well and out of my energy and orbit and never have to come into, you know, their energy ever again. Like when I say, you know, go in peace, I genuinely mean like go out of my way and never disrupt my peace ever again.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I don't want you in my arena. I don't want you in my. So for me to say I wish death on somebody, I wouldn't say that because I am not the creator of your life. I wouldn't want someone to do that and say that to me because my ancestors are gonna fuck them up later. You know what I mean? But you know, I don't retaliate with nothing anymore. I have no energy for that. So, you know, that's why I say I'm teasing, but that's my perspective on that concept. I do want to say something about, what you about to whip me with.
Okay, go ahead.
Because you probably thought I was going a biblical route.
No, I ain't saying that.
I'm talking about knowledge.
I I ain't saying that. Go ahead. Oh, okay.
We can't see it because put your
Was that
hand
the
like in the back
War?
of it. All I see
Was
is an
that
Asian
Sun Tzu?
doll.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
Now, Queen. What is you doing? What are you doing?
Told you my
I'm,
perspective.
I'm gonna give you a pass tonight. But I'm gonna say this: y'all gotta stop that, man. Y'all gotta stop that.
What? Saying that I don't want to wish death on my enemies
Okay.
Why you so you want to love your enemies?
at all. I don't want to do nothing. I just don't want them
You
in
don't
my
want to do
energy.
nothing, right? And you said your ancestors gonna do it, right?
Absolutely. They always do.
They always do. Well, your ancestors called me, so it's all good.
Huh?
Your ancestors called me, it's all good.
My what they say?
They say Queen is tripping.
Nah, but she.
They say knowledge.
Nah,
Go assist the situation.
no. I don't think she. I think she mean different when it comes to a Rugu. You know what I mean? Rugu. She ain't. You know.
Oh man.
See that?
Okay.
Yeah, that's
All
different.
right.
That's whole different. Yeah.
So the only thing that I really want to say is like, so, going back to this topic and thinking about the lack of male leadership in the homes and, you three being elders in the community and the OGs, now, and thinking about how we all left out of our neighborhoods, growing up where we grew up from and I'm thankful for my parents for recognizing that our community was obviously turning sideways or getting run down by wrong types of energies and moved us out, even if it was around a corner. We're no longer in the
Right.
P's. Now we're around the corner. The energy is still a little bit different. But I say that all to say, what do you think is a proper solution, for that? Do you feel like maybe they should knock down all the projects and rebuild them up and put different type of energy
Nah.
inside of it? How do
Look,
you feel like, do you feel like there are some people who are meant to be in that environment? Like, what is your perspective on this?
hey, let me answer that question. I'm glad you asked that because before they tore down all the high-rise projects in Chicago, Chicago had the most projects and the largest projects in the whole nation. Check it out. Okay, so when they tore down all them projects, yeah, that's a lot of people. A lot of people. Guess what happened? They spread it in they spread the families out in different people's neighborhoods. Now remember, Chicago is a gang-related city. It's been since like the 60s, you know what I mean? So you got other kids warring on each other. Everybody already poor. We talking about parenting now. And all the older men that provided structure to these kids are gone, are locked up, are on drugs. And the city got even worse than what it was ever before. And it was already a violent city off top. So tearing down the projects, probably just imagine if they tore down all the projects in New York and they just spread it all throughout the city. It's gonna be the same result.
They did that to one on Staten Island and they built up some like senior types housings there. And everybody kind of just went, like you said, to other areas. So I definitely understand it. And my only concern right now is like, how do we change this? How does it change?
We got to do what we're not doing. We have to stand in unity. First of all, we can't unite for anything. You know what I mean? So we can even mobilize or make any kind of movement. So until we stand united and put away our differences, it's gonna always happen because brothers, we in all different directions right now.
Do you feel like the youth is just like a lost cause? Like this current generation is like, just forget it.
No, I can't say they're a lost cause because the youth are smart. Their energy is just pointing in the their energies in the wrong direction. Self-hate. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you
I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna tell you,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what has a foothold on the youth. You know what it is?
what? Go ahead.
The money.
Mm-hmm.
They're like DJ Academic saying the rappers are old or busted and dusty, all that type of stuff. Because the
Mm-hmm.
money is plentiful now in that particular in those particular genres.
Yep.
So therefore it's gonna be hard for you to tell the youth like do right and do this and do that when sometimes a man back in that day he probably make no more than 50, 60,000 at the most. And this guy here, young rapper, he getting a million, two, three hundred
Mm-hmm.
thousand.
So by you saying that, it's beyond it's beyond the young brother just pushing out drill music. It ain't them. It's the people that's really putting it out.
That's targeting them.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Man. But let me ask you this: if you poor and you living in a shack, you rap, and one of them come knock on your door, white dude, and he pull up in the Bentley. He like, yo, I can change your life tomorrow. What you gonna do?
He gonna
Are you
take the
gonna
money.
Okay, all right. So
You got to read the
He gonna take the
contract.
money.
You got to read the contract. You know, I was politicking with my pops a couple of days ago, and that was one of the things. I don't know how we always go back to, you know, the G days, and that was one of the things that he said. He said, you know, he was offered a record deal, Tommy Boy Records, Red Alert, DJ Red Alert had a record label, you know, and his pops sat him down and he was like, let's realistically think about this. They're offering you a 10-year deal. You know, would you make any money? Are you going to get studio time? Is it going to be worth all of the money that is going to be put into creating this project? Are you going to see any of that? You know, or are you just going to be like a one-hit wonder? And he chose not to, you know, sign the contract, long story shorter, just because of that very reason. Like, you got to read those fine prints. You know what I mean? Sometimes that money up front, because we were living in the projects. He was living in his mother's house, and it was like 15 of us in there. You know what I mean? Like, everybody had kids in there. Like, we was packed in them project apartments, you know? So for him, it wasn't worth it. So while that may be appealing, you know, it may not always be the right thing to do.
Yeah, but I can say one thing about these young boys. Hold on. I can say one thing about most of these young brothers. They doing everything pushing their own music. Hey, so man, let's make we got a little segment we want to talk about before we get up out of here. What's the name of this segment, brother Bossy?
Hey, you can't make this shit up.
Can't make this shit up. Play the video, brother.
You can't make this shit up.
Can't make it up.
Every male, dog, have some type of gay game. That's what they call it, gay game, penitentiary game, that they play with their homeboy. You know what I'm saying? Niggas not gonna mention it. They not gonna say it because of social media, and they'll try to act like they gangster or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But every nigga might be like, damn, bitch, you sexy today, bitch, you know what I'm saying?
Where I come from, we don't play them games. We don't call each other BITCH, none of that.
Man, don't
That's
fight.
what I said. Those are fights. You will die.
And look, I was raised around
from,
some pimps and some pimp players and hustlers. I was raised
me
around
too.
some rough cats. I ain't never heard them play no game like that. I ain't never seen them play no game like that. I ain't never heard them talk like that.
Man, that's straight violation, man. You get straight
100%.
violation, man.
Even if you get this close, you too close to me, fam. Back up. I will put hands on you. Like, that's out.
Hey, Queen, what kind of man is that, Queen?
Chichi man, 100%. There's a lot of them running around right now. It's disgusting, actually.
That's crazy.
The fact that I gotta sit here and ask you, the fact that I even gotta ask you, been with a man.
That's wild.
2024, 2023. I hate it here. It's so ghetto.
All right, y'all. That's it. Vocal Dialect Podcast.
But another episode. Like, comment, subscribe. Check us out. Queen got us hope. Can water or kill. Bossy Kente. I'm Knowledge Born 7. Y'all know the topic. Drill rappers deserve death. Peace, family. And man, we see y'all next time.
Black woman, black hips, black kiss, black lips, afro with a black pick. Love when you talk that blackish. Black man, black fist,
Vocal dialect,
black
like, comment,
Vocal Dialect Podcast. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Vocal Dialect Podcast. Like, comment, subscribe.
Black schools, black scholars, black doctors, black designers, black garments, black stage, black performance, black panel, black audience, black mothers, black fathers, black sons, black daughters, black love, black honor. You black today, you gonna be black tomorrow. Black woman, black hips,